Okay, YouTube, this is Whitney. Yeah, this is Mickey D back again with another episode of Stationeers, episode 17. Hopefully, things go a lot better in this episode. Uh, and I am noticing I'm not getting a great connection for some reason. I'm getting a lot of dropped frames again. Nothing is downloading, nothing is uploading, so hopefully it's something. I guess I'm guessing it's something on YouTube's end, and hopefully it will straighten out shortly. Um, but if not, I'll keep an eye on it. I might have to drop this one and continue on, or and maybe redo it. I don't know. Um, for some reason, we're dropping about a third of the frames right now. Um, but hopefully it'll pull out of it. So what I did is I kind of cleaned up the mess that we made from last time. I should say I made. And what I did was I've got this reset up. I just have not turned it back on. I wanted to make sure that, see, the system is now 100% oxygen. And what I did was I drained the tank. You can see the base is up around 20 again. And what I ended up doing is there ended up being about 4 kp in the base, and I just busted holes in the walls to drain the rest of it out because it was taking forever to get the last little bit out. I rehooked this up. I kind of reran it a little bit. So this is set to pull in. So if we get an issue where the base is, so we still have like this kind of setup where we can pull from these tanks to drain, so for like our waste tanks, or if we get one that's contaminated, we can pull from it and dump it back into the system to be processed. This comes from the furnace, and really the filters should pull anything through anyway. But yeah, see, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. But that way we can pull the air out of the base. So now what I've done is and we're showing 100% O2 now, which I don't really get because we haven't filtered it all yet again. So I don't really understand that. I don't know if there's a bug in the system in the game somewhere, but basically and I don't know why this is actually reading a little bit, the small tank. Oh, world. Okay, so the small tank is 0.9. As you can see, it's 100% oxygen. All I've done is I hooked a vent up in here and tied it into the line for now. I had a back pressure regulator, but it really was, if this is an active vent, it's kind of pointless. And basically pulled everything pretty much out of the system. It looks like it can't pull less than 1 kp. But this is all reading 100% oxygen now anyway. Now that that's done, our oxygen system is, I'm going to leave that right there. Our oxygen system is now uncontaminated. So basically 100% O2. And what we can do is pull all this back out now. So everything's basically out of the system pretty much. We should actually check. Well, no, it should pulled. Yeah, that would have pulled anything tied into that. So now what we can do is and that's not what we wanted to do there. Because now we're draining the whole base. We were going to go on an oxygen run anyway and refill it, but that's not the way I planned on draining it. Okay. So, yeah. What the plan? Where is it? Okay. So, and another reason why I don't agree with this taking being welded on and taking a wrench. That's what I meant to do. Basically, is so we can rehook this up. Now this will filter out our oxygen like normal. And if we turn that, let's let this rebalance out now. So we're still about the same amount. I mean, we lost some from that room. Looks like takes a while to update. And we can pull these off now. Oh. Okay. And so we've got 100% oxygen in the tank. We've got contaminants in the base. And you know what? I think that's coming from the welder. Because it's not burning 100% clean. But now what we can do is we can turn. So that's set to on inward right now. If we turn it on, it's going to pull through here, which is going to be what this is filtering. See now our pressure is going to climb in the system, and it's going to suck everything out of the base to run it through the filtration system. And we should at some point see our pressure start to climb in here. And again, oh, okay, never mind. Oh, that's the world. We're 100% O2. So we should stay, and you can see the pipes climbing. And for some reason, the tank is not, the pressure is not climbing in the tank. I think it has to pressurize the lines first before it starts pressurizing the tank. Seems the way it works. But if we could actually see this, then we're at just 100% O2 on the jetpack, on the not the jetpack, on the oxygen system coming in. So we can now reconnect our oxygen fill. It should stay uncontaminated. And the main thing was we got to check on our airlock and see. I think that's pretty sure that's where the contamination came from. Is so that's not on, so it hasn't caught anything. That is 100% O2. So if we turn our regulator on, this should start filling up at 100% O2. Yes, so we can see our pressure's rising. And why is our pressure so high in that? That tells us it's 31 kPa. It's set to 7.9. That line's gonna blow if it gets much. Oh, 7 MPa. Oh, well, that's weird. It shouldn't let it get any higher. It's the world. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't make much sense to me. You would think that it shouldn't let that get any higher than what the pressure regulator is. Anyway, so we should be able to, and if we drop our tank and not leave it out a long time, then yes, see, we're at 100% oxygen in it. And if we drop it in there, it's going to take a while to fill it, but we should still be at oxygen canister 100%. Now, granted, we lost more than we gained from it trying to equalize the system. But we should be good to go. And I think we should have a spare oxygen tank around here somewhere. There we go. So if we drop that one, and it has nothing in it whatsoever. Actually, we'll take that. Let's just drop those. Take that. Okay, not a lot, but 100% oxygen. Very cold, 100% oxygen, which will be part of the system coming up. So we can leave that in there, let that tank fill up. And the plan is to let this run till it drains the base, which is obviously it's getting there. It's going to take a while. One of these has nothing on it, and I think this is my tracker. Yes. This is the O2, right? Yes. There we go. I like the atmospheric to be white. Okay, that's the tracker. I want that one to be yellow. I do try to keep these color-coded. Put that in there. We don't need that right now. Alright, so it should slowly drain the base. And it should... Once the base is completely drained... We've got plenty of pipes. Now, we could hook up more, and we probably will. I'll probably extend this up farther and put a couple of, maybe run a line down through this wall. I'll probably run actually 2 lines down through this wall. One is an oxygen intake. One is an oxygen output. Since this is like a common wall that's shared with the whole entire base. Yeah, and the pressure will basically keep dropping until and this was actually for a reason. This, we need to put up a ratio and hook it up to this. So we can get our... We might as well drain this into the system. It can filter that back out again. But we'll go ahead and do that because our welder must be getting... Let's see. Oh, stupid great. So, and we want, what is it, a 3366, same as the furnace basically. Percentage to get a clean burn. So we're going to just leave all that right there for now. All right, so we can leave the pressure regulator. So we've got oxygen and our fuel. And let's just grab that. Looks like we have, oh, we've got a mix of O2 and it's about the mix we want. Why do we have a mix in there though? Oh, I know why. Because I threw the so back here, if we could actually read it, we should have just H2. Yes, H2 100%. Which should be basically everything before the, yes, everything before the pressure regulator. So we'll throw that there for now. No, yes, it's telling me it's offline. Okay. So we're going to want that back. We're going to want this back. And we're going to want a gas mixer. And there's no variance on this, so we basically, that's the way we gotta go. And most likely we probably have to have 2 lines on this, which is gonna be annoying. Because I don't think, if we hook this up, yeah, it won't let us. Okay. Okay, so we're going to, this is going to look horrible. Corner. And we need more pipe. Okay, so we need, we'll say a T junction. So now this is going to supply oxygen down to here, up to here. This is the part that's going to probably look horrible. And corner. Now later on, if we have to do a you know, 20%, 80% mix for oxygen, we can do the same thing. So one of these should tell me, okay, that's input 2, which is coming from there. So we want, think 33. And just in case we didn't, I think we already pulled that out, but I'm going to make sure the system's drained. Okay, and we need power now. Yeah, we would be able to do the same thing with the oxygen and nitrogen. So basically we would mix these together. So we'd have one coming down, we would tee off, mix into a mixer here. Same thing basically, we'd mix into a mixer, come down, and then that would be our atmosphere. Obviously the air scrubbers would have to be, it would have to, same thing, tie in together. And yes, so we're getting pressure, pressure's dropping in the base throughout. So hopefully, by the time we get done, finish setting this up and go on a mining run, the base will be completely emptied, or it'll be close enough. I mean, we're down to 2 on this side. We're like up at 8 on this side. And if need be, I want to try to reclaim as much as the oxygen as possible. If I get back and there's still a little bit in the system. Oh, the battery went dead. Look at that. Then oh, not that one. E. F. I didn't really want to stick a large battery in there, but oh well. It'll last a long time, I guess. I was thinking about actually recycling all the small batteries and just swapping them out with large batteries. Okay, so we're down to just oxygen and nitrogen in the room. Unfortunately, nitrogen still gets seen as a contaminant. Our system is still just oxygen. Let's see, just nitrogen, just CO2, just H2, just water, and just pollutants. So yes, so the system is fully purged. Everything is back to how it should be. We gotta drain that out. Looks like, oh, that's the world. Okay, so H2, nothing. So really, we gotta pull that line down as well. So it'll dump it out, basically. Now, if we read that, it should hopefully read as, oh, nope, okay, yeah, nothing. Nothing. That's 100% oxygen, that's 100% H. Hydrogen, oxygen. Now I'm just hoping I got the ratio right. I can't remember if it's 33% on the oxygen or 33% on the fuel. We'll find out. I guess we can change the ratio and just dump out the line if need be. Luckily at this point we can dump anything back into the system now if we need to. And we get a hookup wiring. Now, unfortunately, I'm assuming that's just a curved piece. So we should just be able to do a three-way, just swap that out with a three-way corner. Yeah, that's just a corner. I forgot that it tells you when you, and the other thing is obviously, see, we can see all 3 sides are hooked up. Okay, so Now, if we turn that on, we should be getting the correct mix. So yes, we got 67% hydrogen, 33% oxygen. Obviously, this is pulling anything out that's in there and pumping it into there. So if we now take this, we dump it back into the system. And we know it's going to burn, so, well, it should burn. We will swap those. This one has 0. Let's just take this one. And this is the actual, the spare tank that should be here anyway. Okay, so if we put this in the welder, see, we're still not getting a clean. It's better, but it's not the bright purple that it was. So it's probably the 25-75%. So we'll try changing that ratio, see if it comes out a little bit better. And I wish, so if you just hit Q and you drop it, it always drops in the tank, which is kind of annoying. So you got to throw it a little bit, and then you get the canister that way, unless you want to do like the R button. So we've got this one, it's now emptied. And we should just grab that and bring it in here with us. First of all, we want to change, let's turn it off. We're going to change the ratio to 25-75. Let's try that. And now we need to pull out that pipe, just in case. So that should have drained the system now. And see, we've run the, well, I think we were actually, yeah. So nothing. And obviously that's not going to do anything. If we turn the mixer back on, we should get, yes, 75-25%. 75% of H2. Yeah, that's how we had it set. So if we take this, dump it in there, pull it back out. And if we turn it on, no. So we want to go the other way? Let's see. Let's try that. Oxygen versus, I think that's backward. I don't know. We'll find out. Swap the tanks. Yeah, I can't ever remember what the ratio is supposed to be. I thought it was 33% on the oxygen. Yeah, but that didn't work. Well, maybe the welder's supposed to have a different ratio as well too. So I'm basing it off of the furnace. Okay, and then obviously the system's kind of pressurized, so we're getting a little bit less each time. Oh, there we go. Yep, see, we get the nice purple flame. That's what we want. So we shouldn't be getting any pollutants on it. And it should be running pretty, hopefully it should be running pretty clean. I should check, actually look it up to see if it's supposed to be a 25 or it's supposed to be a 75. But that's definitely a lot better than what we were getting before. So that's definitely what we want there. We can go grab the other tank. We'll let it pressurize because now we have almost nothing in the welder. And hopefully we shouldn't be getting, we should be getting a clean burn. And one of these days I will paint these orange. Oh, so that filled, okay, so, oh yeah, because we just pretty much swapped out the, tank when we, there we go. So we can let that fill up. Nope, turn it off. Thank you. All right. Now the base is dropping, which is nice. And turn that off. And that's the one that's basically nothing right now. I accidentally made two when I was making the, which is fine. We will use it eventually. Yeah, so good. So now we've got oxygen, we've got our nitrogen, which we will probably go ahead and swap our tank. So we do need to swap our oxygen tank. Ooh. Oh, hopefully that did not add waste on there. We'll find out in a second. Okay, looks like we're good. We're not getting any alerts. A little bit more, so we might as well just top it off since we're going through them all right now anyway. And we'll go ahead and swap out our, well, I shouldn't say swap, but we will drain our CO2. Very nice. And let's change out our battery. And I'm going to go on a mining run. Oh, no, before we go on a mining run, we need to see what is up with, and what do we have for walls here? We've got to find out where, well, you know what, we're only at 2 kPa, so we'll go ahead and blow holes through the wall and just let it drain. We need to find out where our airlock line is tying in. Like I said, I think I tied it into the oxygen and not. The one thing is about not having any oxygen is it's a lot quieter. So, yeah, it looks like we tied into the oxygen. So that's not what we want, because that's, I think, where the issue came from, is we grabbed any oh, how do we want to do that then? Yeah, that makes the airlock a little bit more complicated. I guess we could just pressurize in from the base. Just do the simple through the wall, the vent. I didn't really want to do that, though. I wanted to have it tied into the oxygen system. So this works to fill the base because we're pulling off of the oxygen system. I wonder if we could add an air filter in. Yeah, but we only get an input and output. Huh. I'll definitely have to look into that. Okay, we'll throw a corner up here for now. So that way, there's our filtered air coming in. Yeah, we have to figure that out. So I'm guessing with the fact that the air controller is set up to only have one air vent, that really it's just meant to pass through into the base and back. Because you would need a second air vent to pull. I mean, ideally, we shouldn't have any contaminants in the base anyway. But we don't want it to dump directly into our oxygen system, in case we do have some, because then we're contaminating our oxygen supply and we have to run through the whole thing of purging the system again. If the drawback now is that if we oh, autosave. Yeah, so really we should have an intake vent and an outtake vent on the airlock. Or some way of, when it outputs, oops, not that. When it outputs, to have one vent for draining it, which would basically be dumping it into our filtering system, and then the second one dumping it into and then basically a fill, and having that put it into let me see, so we want this to be a 90, like so. Okay. And yeah, I have to think of a, if there's a way I want to do that. Probably do something with logics. To have it, Yep. No. No. Okay, let's fill this one. And let's fill this one. Okay. Yes, we have no sheets left over, so we should be good. Well, get us some tanks back. Oh, let's turn our jetpack off. Holy cow. What the hell? Where the hell did that... Where the hell did that hat come from? Um, we've got a whole bunch of gas blowing out through here. What the hell? Um, I need some. Oh wow. Uh, yeah, everything's burning. Well, at least they saved it. No, not the machines. Oh god, this is bad. Oh god. Um, what the? Where the hell caused that? Yeah, you think so? It's 1700 degrees. Alright, there's some weird bug going on because I have a hole through the wall and I've still got pressure. Now, granted, there's heat, so heat counts as pressure, or adds to pressure. But what the hell caused that? Wait, how did this get activated? Uh, okay. Yeah, you know what? No, we are not saving. We are definitely not saving. Um, yeah, we're completely. I should actually start doing more than one save, I guess. At least two alternating saves. We would have to completely start over again. We lost the what's-it-call-it, the starter machine, the auto lathe, uh, and all the other machines. So if we can't make an auto lathe, we can't make the other machines, which basically means we couldn't make anything. How in... Okay. So, before we do anything else, let's go look in the base and see what's going on here. So, this is where we were tearing everything apart. And I just don't get why the furnace randomly kicked on by itself. I mean, the valve's off. Yeah, there might be a little bit left in the line. You know, we could just go ahead and tell it to vent if we could actually hit the button. That's really annoying. Obviously, we've got to do something there. Actually, we already have holes in the base, so... let's just go ahead and have that vent. I don't really think that was the issue, but why that's warmed up and why it's running, I have no idea, because I literally haven't used that thing in probably 2-3 hours. The last time I made that batch of steel, which was, 2 hours of streaming plus ago. Oh, we blew a line. Okay, so we blew a line and it somehow ignited. So, and that's the same thing we're running into the furnace, is the gas mix does not have a way to pressure regulate. So it just basically keeps trying to pump into it. And so probably what we need to do is bend down, put a pressure regulator, and then do the back pressure regulator, or a back pressure regulator, and then we'll do our pressure regulator. So it'll fill these, and it will keep this line from getting too high. Now, I don't know if you can hook a back pressure regulator right up to the gas mixture. Probably not. Because the problem is that we're still going to have one that's going to try to increase. So we'll leave that off. That'll fix that problem. Yeah, we're at 19 kPa in here right now. So that means that that's all gas that's leaked out. Which obviously that is our fuel. So I can see why there was a giant fireball running through the base, because the base is basically pressurized with highly flammable welding and furnace fuel. And we will go ahead and pull that off. Yeah, we know that's fine, and we'll just shut you off. Okay, this should start draining the base now. We're already at 0 over here. And we've actually got that running even though there's no pressure. So this should all vent out relatively fast, and we can actually help it. Though we're still getting, yeah, it is dropping, but you would think the giant hole in the side of the base would let the pressure drop a bit faster than that. And just to be on the safe side, we shall close that door. Yeah, so giant fireballs. Awesome. Not really, but just thankful it hadn't done an autosave. You know, after that blew up. I mean, we could have, if we were early enough, we could have blown a hole in the side of the base, basically, and let it to vent it out, so all the other stuff didn't catch on fire. You know, if we now that we realize what it was. Okay, so what we're gonna do is the airlock. I'm gonna see. I really want the airlock tied into our oxygen system. I don't really like it. And you know what? I feel like oh, come on, really? One of these ways is the way we want to go. There we go. Really? Okay. It's all kinds of excitement tonight. Last episode we almost, well, we did actually end up suffocating, but I think that was more from the status not clearing and me taking off the tank, still kind of a bug that the status didn't clear. And it was still showing as far as we know, the tanks were still showing as being, we were still getting a O2 warning. Now, I don't know if that's because, our chest was red, but I would think that, basically once we switched back to the, uncontaminated oxygen, it should have cleared out. Though, for all I know, maybe once you take, that counts as basically health damage, and you have to heal before it, clears out. We're still having that weird bug, though, that even when I tried depressurizing the base, it wouldn't depressurize. Oh, and how am I an iron sheet? How am I a steel sheet short? Really? Really? Okay, so we've got that, and I don't know what we're going to do about this. I'm actually thinking about just putting 2 doors, and we just come through, and this is in, well, is this drained? This is drained. So, I'm going to turn this off. I think what we're going to do is just end up putting a jog in the line. And we're still a sheet short. There's probably one stuck in the wall somewhere now. Oh, not. Unless it fell down here. Oh, I don't see it. There's probably one stuck in here around here somewhere. I don't know if I actually let you... I probably would actually let you build. Saying you can put cables and stuff inside of them. I've never actually tried to build something with something stuck in it. Or, just a loose piece left in it. Oh, actually, what did I set something on something once. I put... what was it? Oh, yeah, I like, it's a pretty complex system for, what's in here already. A few, kind of bugs, but that's, to be expected on a early access. And some things that would, be better to, the whole got to have a pipe between everything. Basically, it's kind of annoying. But that's, more stuff to start doing when they start. Why is the heat so high over here? Holy. Did I leave the welder? Oh. Yeah, I left the welder on. That would do it. I thought the base was going to burst into flames again. Alright, so we need a passive... Oh, wow, I need to put floors in there. We need a passive vent. Yeah, and I would like a way to hook the airlock into your actual oxygen supply system and not into the base air. What is that sound? Is that filters running? Now I'm like all freaked out at every little noise because I'm afraid the base is going to burst into flames again. Oh, it's been a rough night. Oh. Where is that coming from? It sounds like it's the other side of the... And yeah, we've got to figure out for that. Luckily, we don't need to fill up. I guess we're going to have to set a pressure regulator. No higher than what the tanks can take, or the pipes themselves can take. I don't know. I think that's going to end up being... I think they should just make it that the pipes can take a lot more than like the tanks. I mean, you basically have to put... Or they need to make it so that the gas mixer does not pump. It just equalizes pressure from the front to the back. Because that really kind of screws up builds. So, and I don't see... I think it's still going to explode. Not unless they let us put a pressure regulator right up against a... I'm pretty sure not. A pressure regulator. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not going to work. I mean, it would be nice if you... Yeah, I figured that that was not going to be possible. So really, there's no way to keep that line from blowing up. There's got to be some way. I mean, we could add a logic chip onto it with a pressure readout and have it set so it turns the gas mix valve off if the pressure gets too high. But, you know, that's going to be... You'd have to do that everywhere you have a gas mixer. And we'll get an autosave going on. I'll probably have to do some more looking into that. That just seems kind of... I feel like there's something I'm missing there with the output on the gas. That, or it's not quite working the way it's intended, because basically the gas mixer is acting like a pump. And it's over-pressurizing the lines, because we get the same thing going on with the furnace, is we can't leave the furnace hooked up because the gas mixer will blow the line. Because even if you put a pressure regulator here, it's not going to... The pressure regulator's here, so it won't... And you can't just keep doing back pressure because it's going to keep venting it into the next section. Yeah, so that doesn't seem right. All right, so we're at 0 kPa. We should be able to pressurize the base again now. Let's go through and just double check that we have no... Okay, the world is 100% oxygen at 0.9. Okay. And if we check on our oxygen supply line, 100% oxygen. So the tank should still be at 100% oxygen, though we don't have a lot in there now. So, yes, the small tank is 100% oxygen. Our tubes are still filling at 100% oxygen. So we should be good. So we can, we should be able to turn the vent. Actually, we don't even have a vent now to fill out the Oh, yeah, we don't even have a vent to fill the base now. Um, yeah, easy enough. We can throw one back in there. We need one active vent section of pipe. We don't even need that much pipe. And we're going to want, oh, for now, luckily, I forgot that we pulled this section out when I was messing with everything. Or I should say, unpurging or uncontaminating the system. Basically purging it. Come on, come on. Get on your pipe. Okay, so that'll give us oxygen on, and we want it's set outward on. We have no pressure, so we can turn this off. So this is only if we need to drain the base, or if we get contaminants and we need to purge the system. No. All right. There, so we're all good there. And we just need a corner. So we should be set outward. We should be set on. Yes, and now we're pressurizing. Pretty sure we do not have enough to pressurize the system, but we are pressurizing at 100% oxygen now, no contaminants. Very nice. Obviously, it's going to take a while, and we're going to have to watch because we have no pressure regulation in the base now. It's just going to keep pumping out oxygen until there's nothing in the system, or something in the base explodes, like one of the walls, or it gets so high that we just can't breathe it. So the plan is that this is just temporary, just to get the system, just to get the base pressurized. But we will run. I think we're gonna run. We'll run a line over down the center of down this wall through the inside. And then we'll come out on either side, so we can have a vent on, like here. We can have a vent over here, and the same thing. We'll come down. Maybe we'll have, this is a pretty big room. Maybe we'll have a vent in the middle. We can have one over that door on either side, and we can have one over here on either side, and that should help the base fill up a lot faster. And then, like I was saying too, maybe we will have 2 lines running in there, and I'll have 2 sets of vents, again, on either side. So maybe I'll just have a line at the top, a line down below, have a vent on each one, so we'll have like 2 vents. And one side will be an intake, and one side will be an output. So if we need to filter the base, we can. If we need to cool or heat the base, we can have that tied into it, and basically any of the intake can run through the filtering, the heating, the cooling, and then back out on the output. And basically it'll just keep running it through the system, and anything excess over like 100 kPa, if that's what we pressurize the base to, will get stored in the system. So right now, we're kind of at a very, very basic. Um, Finally get the system pressurized without, um, without contaminants. And it's going to take forever to fill up the base with that one vent. Um, but it will eventually do it. I mean, we're at 10 kPa in here. Um, and honestly, we could close the door, and it'll probably fill up this area a bit faster. Still very cold, so we've got to still address the heating and the cooling. But yeah, we're definitely going to need a lot more vents. And it's also a matter of, we barely have any pressure in the system right now. So, and it does seem like the game is set up that the greater the greater the pressure differential, the faster it'll go. To an extent. It's obviously when the base gets down to being kind of almost no pressure and you're draining it, it takes forever to get those last few kPa out. But when it's relatively full, it goes pretty fast, which is pretty true to real world situations. The closer you get to pulling a vacuum, the longer it takes, or the harder the pumps have to work. Yeah, and that should... The strange thing is the tank is acting weird again, and it's not pulling. I'm guessing it must be pulling out of the line first, and then out of the tank. Kind of how it fills the tanks. Oh, no, that... Well, that's a back... We got back pressure. Yeah, we got pressure in the tank. It should be able to pull from the tank. Well, the tank should equalize to the... Oh, yeah, that's it. We've pulled everything out that'll pull out of the system. Right now, you have to do 100% oxygen. If you add nitrogen in, the game's not set up to read oxygen nitrogen as an air mixture right now, so you have to pressurize with 100% oxygen. If you add nitrogen in, basically it counts as the atmosphere being contaminated. And people were doing that at first when they were filling up their suit tanks before they even... so your suit tank, even before they... had bases that were being pressurized, and it would... Oh, I've actually got a little bit of CO2 in there. I need to clear that out. I accidentally stuck it in my waste spot for a section. So right now, as the game is set up, you breathe 100% oxygen, and you exhale, as far as I know, 100% CO2. I don't know if you actually exhale 100% CO2, but the only thing you exhale is CO2. And that goes to your waste tank. I don't know if it's... I imagine that's how it's set up right now. I believe the devs had said that the plan is that eventually there will be an oxygen-nitrogen mix for breathing. It's just, I think that's a down-the-road sort of thing. And I can go ahead and... And now this actually isn't poisoning me either, because I do have the CO2 filter. So it's not really that big of a deal for me to have some CO2 in there. I just prefer not to. It just means you would fill up the waste tank faster. But definitely need to go grab some more. And then that should be 100%. Yeah, I'm gonna do something about that. But the torch lasts quite a while, so we're good for now on it. I need to fill up the suit battery. I need to make some more large batteries again too. Let that charge for a minute. So we need to go grab more oxides, which I did earlier until I ended up having the base supply contaminated and almost killing myself. Technically I did, but that was more the game not updating that it had been corrected until I did a restart. What do we have? We need to charge the drill. Yeah, so it'd be nice when they start adding stuff. They've been doing kind of a bug fix. A see if that charges my batteries really quick. Generator puts out quite a bit of power. It's not going to help because I'm running through the battery. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just grab the orange one's more than enough anyway, or green's more than enough anyway. Oh, and I need the tracker. Oh, I've actually got the tracker on me. And, oh, wait a minute. Is that my other large battery, isn't it? One of them is. I can't remember which one. Eventually, I will swap everything over to a large battery. Okay, let's see if we hopefully don't have any issues. Well, we shouldn't because now we're pumping back inside to the base. And honestly, the pressure's so low, I could just open the door and not even really. We definitely need a couple more vents in here, though, too. Though I don't really know how the airlock handles if you have, oh, autosave. Yeah, still get that pause in the autosave. Supposedly they done some improvements for that, but it doesn't seem to have really helped all that much so far. Oh, look, here's piles of oxide. And last time I was running around like crazy looking for it. I swear stuff changes position sometimes. Luckily, it doesn't take very long to fill up on the oxides. And I still have to look into if you get any oxygen from water, or if you just get straight water from it, and that's it. I mean, obviously there is water, is a material, though it has no use right now. I'm assuming it will definitely be used in the hydroponics. I'm hoping it'll also be used as in the cooling. I'd really like to see some nuclear reactors with, have to have some active liquid cooling on them. Or we turn our bases into giant radioactive craters. Oxides, yes. So hopefully we get an inventory or two of this and we should be able to repressurize the base up again. I'm trying to think, what did I get last time? I think I got 2 inventories full. And that got us up to almost 40, I think. So it'd be nice if I get up to 50 or 100. I don't know if I want to do that tonight though or not. Just because that'll take quite a few mining runs, and I usually do most of the mining runs off camera. Since I feel that most people, a mining run's really a mining run. Unless there's a lot of people in chat to ask questions or something, then, I just kind of sit here and mine. I really do hope they do, speaking of the mining, I really hope they get the ores. Maybe I'd like to see it handled a little bit different. I mean, I'm fine with the mining system, but you basically wander around on the surface. There's no point really to dig down right now. And yeah, we got plenty in the jetpack. If you dig down low enough, you actually do hit like kind of, I call it bedrock, but I guess it's supposed to look like lava. But it doesn't actually hurt you. It's solid. It's just a neat little texture kind of to it. And I don't know if you'd actually call it lava. You might just call it the semi-molten core. Well, technically it's the moon, so it shouldn't have a semi-molten core, but what are we at for? Oh, very nice. Yeah, I've dug down. I dug down straight down all the way down once, and I think I didn't hit a single deposit all the way down, except for I think I hit one deposit right at the very bottom. So it's not much of a point to really go digging right now. Just wander across the moon and find whatever you want to find. That was one of the good things about Minecraft is you had to go deeper to get some of the other resources. Yeah, yeah. They said the mobile grids are in basically creative, meaning basically ships or whatever. But they're not really functional yet. Hang on one second, I'm gonna cough. Oh, sorry. They're not fully functional. They still have some stuff to work on them. I think I did hear something, and I got this secondhand, that they're not. It's not going to be like Space Engineers where you can move in any direction you want. I think it's more like you're going to be able you're going to be able to basically move like forward, backwards, left, right. I don't know if they're going to do it like a 2D, no up, down, or maybe you can move up, down, but you're not going to be able to just like if you want to burn two thrusters and go off at like a, 35-degree angle, you do that, It seems like you're going to be kind of locked to different directions, and then supposedly like your turn radius is going to be, your turn speed is going to be pretty low. How much of that actually stays like that, I don't know, and how much of that's actually true or not. Like I said, I got it kind of secondhand. I think I saw it on a post that, they were saying the devs had said that or whatnot. But some stuff has changed as the game's gone on, so it's always a possibility. Oh, whoops. I would like to see vehicles and stuff, though, as well. I'm hoping they'll add like some wheels and we can build some vehicles. Yeah, I would imagine for a while. I don't really know what their, kind of like their priority list is. As far as I know, there's no, roadmap, at least that I've seen. If there is, somebody let me know. Post it in the comments. You know, I wish they kind of had a little bit more um, uh, information set up. I mean, you go to the website and, if I remember correctly, there's not really like a form. They're like using like the Steam forums. Um, so it makes it kind of hard to get some information. You know, it's nice that they do the live streams and stuff, but it, it or they do the, yeah, he does the live streams, the dev streams, I should say. Um, okay, there we go. So we're up at like 32 now, at least in there, and we're still at 7 over here. I hope the base isn't detecting that it's leaking again. I ran into that issue before, and it was actually this room. See if the pressure stays or not. I think it just hasn't equal. It just takes it a while to equalize. That is one thing I really hope they'll focus on soon. I mean, I know they've been focusing on like a lot on the dedicated servers and getting their issues worked out. Yeah, see, that is still not dropping. It's like it's not pulling off the supply tank. Okay, it doesn't look like it was dropping. It's just, you know, obviously, this is a little unrealistic of having, you know, it take that long for it to pressurize from one side to the other. We're at 6 over here. The other room's over at like 32. You know, honestly, that would be pretty much instantaneous. You know, okay, here we are at 44. So, you know, if we threw too much in more, in, well, we're not that far away. Well, we're pretty far away from it. But theoretically, we could throw enough in here to over pressurize this room and blow it out, even though the door's open, before this side even gets pressurized. So, yeah, that needs a little bit of, you know, and I'm assuming that has to do with the tick rate. The same thing with like the regulators and the valves, and the regulators and some of the other stuff is so slow. You know, basically due to how fast they tick over. You know, some of the pressure regulators are basically makes it pointless to try to really use them, except for as an absolute like fail safe to keep stuff from blowing up. But you know, it is an early access, and it's basically an alpha right now. You know, it's definitely not a beta. They're still adding stuff. They're still getting systems implemented. So, you know, I can't really complain too much. It would just be nice because it's some of the most annoying things right now, really. And that's close enough. But overall, I'm really enjoying the game. I mean, I'm probably at, I don't know, 90 hours now or something in it. If not more. I don't know. I know I was at 76 yesterday, so I've probably paid about that today. Well, no, I was at 76 when I checked. I do really wish you could see the ores farther. And then I turned the beacon on before I left. No, I did not, because that's the base there, and it doesn't, yeah. That's okay. Let's go turn on the beacon. Yeah, that would have been kind of bad. Luckily, I've realized that every time before I've gotten too far from the base that I've done that. I've only done it a couple of times, but it's kind of annoying. It would, and this we can just cancel. That's fine. It'll just force air in. It's not that much of a pressure difference right now anyway. Worst it would do is blow me into the back wall for now. Yeah, I'm gonna try putting up another vent in here to see if this gets faster. Well, I know you can have more than one vent and it makes it faster. I just gotta figure out how exactly it needs to be set up, because I don't know if the control console for the airlock will control more than one vent or not. It's not something I've tried to mess with yet. And now, like I walked out last time and I knew that there was oxide, like kind of right there, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna walk by it in the dark. So I'm really hoping they add like suit upgrades or something later on. And I don't need gold. I want oxides. Um, so maybe like bigger inventory, or I really need to move faster. I mean, it would maybe be nice if there was kind of a run option, but then again, you are wearing a spacesuit. Um, realistically, how fast are you going to be able to run in the big bulky spacesuit that they show you in? You know, and oxides. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to see what they do with the game and what gets added. I'd really like to play on Mars. I'm really hoping the atmosphere on Mars will maybe play an effect. Maybe some dust storms. Um, I would like to see like some hazards. Like some radiation hazard. Like if you're on the moon, maybe there's a solar flare. So maybe you either need to be deep underground, or have your base needs to be enclosed, and maybe you need to have radiation shielding in a certain area or something, or either on your whole base or just in a like a basically a survival room. Oh, ice. Yeah, I guess we'll grab some ice since we're. Oh, I didn't want to grab that iron. I guess I can move that to a different slot. Oops. There we go. Yeah, I'm not too thrilled with the whole you have to have the mining belt to pick up, to do your auto pickup. Um, yeah, I really hope they add like an ore detector or something. I'm hoping that it maybe like you can do that with like a suit upgrade, that maybe it gives you like a heads up display. Um, and then maybe you can have different stuff. I mean, it would be nice if you had like ear tracking on your heads up display. So if I have a beacon, I can see it there, you know. Um, if there's ores in an area. Okay, so I passed that last time, so I should be close to the O2, I believe. Oh, is that oh, we had silver right here. That's good to know. So not too far from the front door. Um, which I've got plenty of silver right now, but I'm sure I'll need more eventually. Um, and autosave. um, yeah, and I'm hoping like they'll if you did like a suit upgrade, and then maybe you had you could give you so many like slots for you could throw like a tracker slip it chip in it, and then maybe they'll add like an ore detecting chip or something like that. And even if it doesn't have a massive range, just something better than, I mean, especially since the ores don't show up until you're pretty close to them. I mean, if you fly up in a jetpack, it won't, it doesn't help any. Oh, the nuclear meltdowns. Yeah, I think that would be great. And you didn't just get to that in the stream, did you? It's not that far behind, is it? It should be, it should only have a very slight, like 10-second delay, maybe. I think is what I've got the latency set to on it. What's that? Oh, wait a minute. It says oxide, but that looks like silver. Is there an oxide really close to it? It doesn't look like it. Come on. Oxides. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm really hoping they'll do something like that. I also really, I mean, my biggest like besides the regulators and stuff running so slow, and the gas mixer is basically blowing up your lines, is the trackers. There's no way to... All right, we're going to dump the ice since we don't really need that. And there we go. Since we can get more oxides, which we do need. The tracking beacons. I mean, the only way to run them right now is battery powered, which is kind of really dumb if it's a tracking beacon and you want to leave it somewhere. Granted, at this point, you know, it'd be really nice to have a wired option so that you could basically have the beacon tied into your base power and it always runs, and then that way you know how to get back to your base. You know, later on, you know, probably... Oh, it's full. Okay, and the sun's out, so I can't carry anymore. And can we see the... oh, there we go. Yeah, for some reason you can't see any ores. Like, see, obviously there's no ores between me and the base, but I can see the base. Oh, and then look, there's a little bit of ores. But you can't really see any farther than what you would see when you're on the ground. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of frame drops for some reason. I don't know if they're having network congestion. I mean, usually it's fine, and I just get occasional little spike here or there. But I'm losing like 43% of the frames right now for some reason, which is about as bad as I've ever seen it. And I don't really understand. The only thing I can think of is it's network congestion. And which it's you know, granted it's the day after New Year's, but it's a Monday night, so you wouldn't really think it would be that, you know, busy, really. It takes so long to pressurize the base. And I don't mean the airlock. I'm just meaning pressurizing in general. I'll probably stop the stream after I dump this load off. This one's hit an hour and a half now. I'll probably jump right back on in about 5-10 minutes. And then hopefully maybe if I stop the stream and restart it, hopefully that'll stop the dropped frames. I might just need to restart Stationeers too. I don't think that should really matter. I've never really noticed like a memory leak in it. The game always seems to pretty much run the same. As far as I know, it's not really taxing my CPU or anything, which shouldn't really mess with that anyway. Even the stream is only showing it's only taken 8%, so let's throw this on here. Actually, we can go ahead and just smelt this. But I'll probably just jump right back on here and stream for, I don't know, probably another hour. And then I'll probably call it a night. Actually, no, I better stop it. I better not stream anymore. It's 1 a.m. here, so, and I have work tomorrow, and I should have actually probably already been off. But I will be streaming tomorrow again after work. Probably a little bit later in the evening, since I've got a couple of rentals, and one of them's moving out, and I've got to do some work on it and stuff before the next tenant moves in 2 weeks. So that's going to tie up my afternoons for a little bit. But I'll probably still stream at least an hour or so, 2 every night. You know, noise ordinances and all that. I can't make a ton of noise late at night, so that gives me time to stream in the evenings. And that is still not I don't even know if that's... We didn't actually cut a line, did we? No, it should tie right in. Well, no, it's reading a pressure, so it can't be cut. Yeah, one of these days I could do something about that gas mixers. But that's strange because I can't see. Yeah, see, we're all the way up to 45 in here now, which means we could... Yeah, I know, it's cold. But... And then probably walk through the door and I'll start suffocating. Oh, it's a little low. Yeah. So, very nice, but not getting any contaminants. So, I'll probably do a couple more runs off camera tomorrow before I stream. Just because at this rate, I'm going to... Yeah, and I still don't know why it's not pulling from the tank. What was I going to say? It's still, you know, it's gonna take me a few runs to, oh, I don't know. Let me see. What is it? Where are we at? We're at 40 over here. I wish it equalized faster so I could get a better idea of where we're actually at. We're at 27, 23, 21, 20. We'll probably drop down to maybe 19. So, you know, we're maybe 30 on average for the base. And we've got to get to 100. It's going to take quite a few runs of oxides. And let me see. Yeah, so yeah, that's going to take a bit. Oh, you're software engineer? Very nice. I just want to get a little bit into programming and stuff, and I never did. I do 3D programming for a CNC. So I do a lot of 3D modeling and then pull geometry off of that to run. And a lot of the stuff we deal with is either in 2D or 3D models that we have to either basically convert to 2D or we run in 3D. It's rare when we run something fully, like if we do half-hull models or something, that's all 3D. But usually we get parameters off and those are 2D, and then, you know, anything else, if we're doing pockets or bevels or whatnot, then that stays as 3D geometry. And we do a lot of cabinets and stuff, so I've got to take all the drawings and program them into basically 3D cabinets of the exact same thing, so that the program can take them and pull all the parts off of it, which is pretty fun. I enjoy it a lot. Alright, so yeah, we're at 31 down here. Looks like it's almost... Yeah, it looks like we're going to be about 29, 30 on average. So, yeah, I've got to do a few more runs. I should get up a tool manufactory running so I can make like a couple more mining belts. Because then you could just swap mining belts and just keep putting ore in it. Yeah, and then I can just grab a whole bunch of oxide all at once. Might be a plan, just so I don't have to keep running out to get it. Yeah, I need to change the battery in the suit. There we go. Alright, well, I'm gonna say that this is the end of this stream. Yeah, we've hit almost the 2-hour mark. We're in like an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, we finally got the base basically mostly pressurized. We can should actually, I think, be able to run around without a helmet on by the time the whole thing equalizes, because really we're only a little low over here. Um, so, like I said, I'll probably do a couple of runs off camera, more oxides, to get it closer to being up to around 100, and then we can start building up a reserve, because obviously we're still going to need to fill canisters, and we're going to be able to run like the furnace and charge the welder and whatnot. So that's going to obviously eat into our oxygen. Yeah, so I'll do that off camera, and then probably the next episode, I don't know, either the furnace, or I'd like to get the base, the climate control going. Actually, probably is the next thing. Run the vents down, get the intake and exhaust, or input, output, basically vents, so that we can pressurize the base a lot faster, equal out the different areas a lot faster. And then we're going to need, heating and cooling. So, and it's obviously the heating and cooling needs to be spread out as well. We should be able to tie that all into machinery, though, and then eventually we'll get everything all automated. Yeah, we have a 3-axis at work right now. We do primarily wood, some plastics every now and then, no metal. And there's talk about upgrading it to a 5-axis, which would be nice. It's kind of it's a large expense. So it's we kind of go not back and forth on it, but the owner wants to make sure he's definitely going to get his money out of it, which he will. But there's it'll open up more areas for us as well. So, but plus our current machine is getting old. It's still good, runs well, but it's like a 13-year-old machine now. So we get some stuff that goes out once or twice a year on it. So maintenance is getting a little rougher on it, but it is fun. It's nice. I mean, I can do cabinets or some oddball thing on it, and then I always get somebody walks in, and I get something completely random that I'm gonna try to figure out how to make, but it is enjoyable. And I would like to hopefully, have a 5-axis sooner rather than later. Not to mention that in the 13 years since our machine was originally built, the technology's come a long way. There's the machines are faster. They're the tolerances are even tighter on them. They've got capabilities. I mean, we've got some stuff now that our machine, our software can handle, but our machine can't. And it would be nice to have a newer machine so that, the machine can handle everything that the software can handle. But that's, something that'll, it'll happen sooner or later down the line, and then there's the whole debate on, do we keep the old machine, or do we just, not keep just go with do we keep the old machine, or do we, have both machines? I mean, 3-axis does still have its strong points. If you're doing cabinetry, that's great. If you want to do custom door panels or something, out of MDF or something, raised panels, then a 5-axis is really good. Or, if you want to do, sculptures or, helical handrails or something like that, then 5-axis is really great. But we do a lot of boat molds, a lot of cabinetry. 3-axis works really good for it. Weather, so they both have their strong points. So we're looking at kind of a combination 3/5 sort of thing. So we can kind of hopefully get the best of both worlds. But, again, we'll see. We're not quite ready to pull the trigger on it yet. So, all right. Well, I'm going to call this the end of this episode. I'll be, like I said, streaming again tomorrow evening. Probably do an episode or two, and we'll probably work on climate control for the base. And I will see you guys then. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Have a good night. And this is Mickey D saying bye.